must change, change. Nothing stays the same. Everyone must change. Nothing stays the same. And the young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. 'Cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one remains unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of, except the rain comes from the clouds and the sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly, and winter turns to spring, and a wounded heart will heal, but never much too soon. Nothing and no one, and nothing and no one, and nothing and no one remains unchanged, unchanged, unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of, except the rain comes from the clouds, and the sun lights up the sky, and the rain comes from the clouds, and the sun lights up the sky, and the rain comes from the clouds, and the sun lights up the sky, and music makes me cry. Everything must change. Everything must change. I've got life, mother. I've got laughs, sister. I got freedom, brother. I got good times, man. I got crazy ways, Adamus. I got $1 million voice, Norma. I got headaches. I got toothaches. I got bad times too, just like you. But here's one thing I got. And here's one thing I got. I got my hair, I got my head, I got my fin, got my brains, I got my eyes, I got my nose, I got my mouth, I got my smile, I got my tongue, got my chin, got my neck, I got my back, I got my nose, I got my tits, I got my ass, I got my ass, yes. I got my freedom, got my nose, my throat, got my toes, my throat, got my nose, got my liver, I got my blood. I got life, 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 life.
Download, Shambra. Download. Download. Bring it in. Breathe it in. It was all there. Everything. Of course, the beautiful music, the energies, the entire consciousness of our Shoud. I am that I am, Artemis of sovereign domain. Welcome to this sacred space, place of laughter and joy. Some of you may be thinking, some of you who are new may be thinking this is a little bit strange for you to be here. What kind of group is this? What kind of antics are going on here? What is this being doing, closing his eyes and then suddenly walking around? But I want you to consider from my standpoint for a minute. For me, it is really strange. For me, this is bizarre. Being here in front of a group of so-called humans, what I know to be absolute Merlins, who are pretending that they are asleep. Imagine what it would be like to be in my chair for a moment and having to suddenly come into this human body who is relaying my messages, a being who is also like you, pretending that he is asleep, and I have to talk through this. That's bizarre. That's strange. Imagine, if you would, putting yourself in my shoes for a moment, how strange it is to be talking with you who I've known before, who I've worked with before, who I know as a master and many, many masters, but you're pretending that you're not. So I say to myself before we start these gatherings, what am I going to say to them today? How am I going to get through that you're just pretending to be asleep? You're pretending to be something less than who you really are. Why? Why? It's the big question of the day. Why? You say, I hear you, I hear you. You say, but Adamus, I don't know how to wake up. No, you don't want to wake up. You say, Adamus, I have studied everything. I have taken every course. Oh, I know. Adamus, I've gone to every healer that I could. Adamus, I had a really rough childhood. And I'll take you to my crystal someday, and I'll lock the door on you, and then see how you like that. I actually had a very beautiful, simple, I guess you would call it poem or prose, sent to me recently, and it was so indicative of all of you, I would say. Electric motors. So I'd like to share it with you for a moment here. It was simple and beautiful. Let's take a deep breath together. This comes from an anonymous human angel. I dreamt I was sleeping. Yes, take a deep breath with that. I dreamt I was sleeping, of times as they were. I dreamt I was sleeping with laughter and tear. I dreamt I was sleeping of all I could be. I dreamt I was sleeping across the great sea. Wake up, wake up. I heard from within. Wake up, so life can begin. Wake up, wake up. To sleep is a lie. Wake up, for the God, it is I. Hannibal, can you sing it? Without any rehearsal, can you sing it? Linda, would you write it down?
Sure.
Absolutely.
I
And
can do it.
as we prepare for this, I thought it was so beautiful because dear Shambra, you are dreaming that you're asleep. You're dreaming while you're asleep. You're dreaming of what can be. You're dreaming of what is going to be. You're in this altered state. This is not real. You're dreaming. You're asleep. I dreamt I was sleeping. I dreamt I was sleeping.
I'm writing fast because you're not patient.
Of times that were. I dreamt I was sleeping through laughter and tear.
Again, write it all
You
out.
just put quote marks for again. It's going to be a long gathering today.
Oh, okay.
I dreamt I was sleeping through laughter and tear.
Through laughters and tear?
Through laughter and tear.
Two?
Through.
True, that's what I said.
It doesn't have to look good.
Okay.
I dreamt I was sleeping. Again. Of all I could be.
You do it.
I dreamt I was sleeping across the great sea, and sea is spelled S-E-E in this case.
Across?
Across the great sea. Okay, let's try that part first. Hannibal,
Yes.
you got a tune in mind? Yes.
Happily. Watch it, it's wadded up in the, it's wadded up. It's good.
Maybe if you just tear it off and give me a piece.
Wait.
And you come over here and hold it on the piano. That'll be fine. Other than blocking. Voila. Come on the other side, please.
And then.
Just hold it. Here we go.
Wake up.
Okay.
Wake up, wake up. No. Wake up while he's working on this. I heard from within.
I dreamt I was sleeping of times that were. I dreamt I was sleeping of times that were. I dreamt I was sleeping through laughter and tear.
Interrupt for a moment. Sounds rather dreary.
It sounds rather dreary.
Sounds rather dreary. Let's pick that up. I dreamt I was sleeping of.
Should we go to a major
Yes.
key? in the key of blue.
It was such a beautiful poem. I want to bring it out with expression.
Words are not really clear here for me.
Yes.
Let's see. Wake up. Is this correct? I dreamt I was sleeping of times that were, and then
I dreamt I was sleeping through laughter and tear. I dreamt I was sleeping of all I could be. I dreamt I was sleeping across the great sea.
Sorry.
We'll give it another try.
Linda, can you come over here, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm at everyone's command.
It's a hard day for Linda today.
With the text. I dreamt I was sleeping of times that could be, and to repeat there again, of times that were. I dreamt I was sleeping of times that were. Through it I dreamt I was sleeping through laughter and tear, and I dreamed I was sleeping of all I could be. I dreamt I was sleeping across the great sea. Can you just rip it off and... it's like I felt like I knew this already when you started to speak it. Oh yes. Oh, I dreamt I was sleeping of times that were. I dreamt I was sleeping of times that were. Wake up, wake up. I heard from within. I dreamed I was sleeping of times that were, so that life could begin. I dreamt I was sleeping of times that were. To sleep is to lie the gods. What is that? Is
So, dear Shambra, what's the point? What's the point? Thank you, my dear.
You're so welcome,
Thank
sir.
you.
You're so welcome,
What's the
all
point?
of you.
A couple of things. First of all, it was a very simple poem that I love because it carried the energy of what so many of you are going through. You're actually dreaming that you're asleep, and you're dreaming while you're asleep. And this isn't real, and this doesn't matter. And you're in kind of an altered state, wondering how to get out of it. We'll get into that in a moment. Secondly, henceforth, always be ready for the unexpected. Always. Linda did not know that we would call upon her for her writing skills. Hannibal did not know that he would be asked to come up to the front and improvise a song. And it's a very good lesson for everyone because That's the way it's going to be now. In the moment. In the moment. All the planning, all the advanced work that you normally do are going to start going out the door. It's going to happen in the moment, and it's going to take some of you by surprise. There are times you might get flustered, or there are times you're going to get a little bit angry and want to know why you didn't have more time to plan this. It'll be in the moment. You may be asked to get up in front of a group of 500 people in the moment, and you can feel your little heart go pitter-patter. Suddenly there may be a TV camera in your face for all the world to see, saying, how do you feel about that? It's going to be in the moment. And with our little exercise here, demonstrated that it feels awkward and clumsy in the moment, and it gets very mental in the moment. You try to race backwards to what you knew or what you have experienced. It doesn't work, and then you surrender. And then you surrender, and you just let it out. And you don't care if you mix up the words a little bit, because you'll find maybe better words. I dreamt I was sleeping. Yes. Let me hear you do that.
I dreamt I was sleeping.
Yes, yes. And then it flows from there. So that's what's coming. That's what's, well, actually, that's what's here. Guess what? It's already here. So, Shambra, it's here. I talked about it a few weeks ago in the cornfields in Iowa. Actually, I thoroughly enjoyed the trip. It's here. I told the group that gathered there that there is a lot of energy coming in right now. You may have noticed it in the last few weeks. Some of you have handled it surprisingly well. Some of you have just taken a deep breath and let it come in. Some of you have gotten very, very flustered. You got into that situation of saying, here it is again. Why is it always me? Why is it I keep seeming to go through these cycles of disruption and craziness and unrest? Last couple weeks have been very crazy. They really have been. Now, first, not necessarily even for you. Look at the world the last couple of weeks. Crazy. Now, going through things that it commonly does, but really it's intensifying right now. Earth changes all around. Political situations going into turmoil. Things that haven't even hit the news yet about what's been going on the last couple of weeks. There was a huge infusion of energy, different than other energy that normally makes its way here, whether it's physical energy from perhaps from the other realms in space, or whether it was non-physical, non-earth-related energy coming in. Piles of it. And it was chaos. It was all chaos energy. Chaos means that it doesn't have the typical attributes. What you're normally used to when large volumes of energy come in. Sometimes you find the large volumes to be wonderful, beneficial, perks you up. Sometimes it can be overwhelming, because anytime you have this infusion coming in, it can disrupt delicate balances. And well, you're all delicately balanced. Matter of fact, you're all just barely hanging on by a thin string. And that's the good news. It's true. It's very true. You're hanging on by... We're amazed sometimes in the other realms of how you can keep hanging on. You know what the secret is? Let go. Let go. Let go. But back to this chaos. There was a huge infusion of energy that started coming in a couple of weeks ago. It's still making its way here. From out there that is right here. And why? Why? Because the stars aligned? No. Because the sun has extra big solar flares right now? Maybe. Because the aliens are getting ready to attack? Yes.
That will not translate well.
That's it. That's it. Well, they are, but I'm going to talk about that in another discussion. We're going to talk about angels and aliens. But yes, they are. So they're not going to get very far, I don't think, but I could be wrong. I'm playing with these energies. So an incredible amount of what we would call chaos energy. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't follow the old patterns. It's coming in because... Thank you. Hey, hang on. Stay right there. Because of you, because you've called for it. Because a long time ago you sent out a call. Could I have my special? Thank you. Thank you. For you, my dear. Come on up here. Yeah, he wants you to come up here. He.
Hello on the internet.
A special gift from all of us to you. Don't pollute. Miss Amazing. Thank you. Yes. Yes, it's because of you. You, all of you, have called it in. Humanity has called it in. You could say the angelic families have called it in. The near-earth realms, which are really in a world of hurt right now. They've called it in. For you. It's valuable. Gold leaf.
I know my stuff.
So this huge infusion of energy, and it's very chaotic. So it's going to come in like chaos does. It's going to come in unexpectedly, unpredictably, where you're used to having energies flow in through certain what you would call grids or meridians or body energy patterns. It's not coming in that way anymore. It's coming in different. It can really, truly throw you off. It can really get you in. How many had drama in the last couple of weeks? I'll close my eyes. Yeah. And that's just drama with the others, other people outside of you. How many had drama with yourself? Or trauma with yourself, yes. Yeah.
How about sleepless nights?
Sleepless nights, yes. You've been partying too much lately and in the other realms, yeah. Yeah. But this energy is coming in. It's very chaotic, but as we've talked about before, chaos really isn't chaotic. It's just different, it's not even patterns, different measures, different ways of delivery that's coming in. It's coming in to be there for you. Some of this chaos energy is what you would call old vibrational energy. That part you're used to, but the way it's coming in, you're not. Some of it is literal new energy. For those who aren't familiar with new energy, for those who are still very much into duality and really want to hang on to duality, the new energy will go right past them. It won't go to waste. It'll kind of like cycle or circle back around and land later on. For you who are aware of it and can handle it, and can really breathe it in and breathe it in a state of total acceptance of yourself and everyone around you, even that person who's sitting next to you right now that you just want to push away, total acceptance. Yeah. It's available to you. Now, an interesting thing that I've noted in the last few weeks is that it's hitting some of you at the core, which it should. It may feel crappy, but it's hitting you at the core. So the question I have for you right now is, what is the core? What is that core issue where it's hitting? I'm going to ask lovely, beautiful Linda to go into the audience with a microphone.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask her the question.
I'm going to ask her that too, but first while she's in the audience. So, Linda, picking any volunteer that you would like. So what is there's actually two issues that it's bringing up right now. What is it? Yes. Thank you for not raising your hand, but taking the microphone.
I'm not really sure.
Feel within. Just close your breath, or close your eyes, and take a
Bad
breath.
idea.
I think something traumatic happened to me in my life this week. I lost a pet, and I felt like my heart shattered. And putting the pieces back together now has been a very interesting. Everything looks a little different. I don't know how I'm going to look different after putting the pieces back together.
So what's the core issue? What's the core issue? This energy hit something. What is it? And you're almost giving me the answer. You're dancing around it. Core issue. By the way, a lot of pets are going to be leaving. Please do not dismay when they do. They're leaving for a reason. A, the energy is very intense. They want out. B, they're going to come back. They're going to come back as what you would say even more intimate, grand pets to be there with you. So, core issue.
I'm not sure. Just acceptance of myself.
Yeah, you don't really believe the answer, but I'll write it down anyway.
Thanks.
You're saying to yourself, that was really kind of a mediocre answer, but I'll write it down. Because you know and I know it wasn't right. But we'll write it down. Okay, next. What are the core issues? There's two core issues that are coming up right now for you, for Chambre. Not for everybody in the world, but for you.
I became aware that my heart
I
is...
would just like to stand closer.
All right.
Yes.
Me too.
Yes.
I became aware that my heart is gigantic
Yes.
and that my ability to sabotage myself is equally large.
Ah, good. That's don't give the microphone to me. They already gave me one. So sabotage. Yes. Okay. Next, core issues. Don't ask Andra, she already knows.
I think for me, the core issue is loss, the realization of loss.
Loss of everything.
Everything.
That's a good one, yes. And how does that feel, they say, with a microphone in your face?
Empty.
Yeah. That's actually not a bad thing. It's a difficult thing, but it's not a bad thing. From what I would call in a sleep perspective, it's difficult. From an awake perspective, it's actually quite beautiful. So, we'll wake up in just a bit. So, loss. Others, core issues. Two of them I'm going to jump up and down when you get them.
I would say old versus new energy. The old being confronted and released so that you can make room for the new energy to fill up the vacuum.
Old versus new, let's call it duality.
Yes.
Okay. Duality. And by the way, these things are all being affected by this chaos energy coming in. Waves and waves of it. If you could actually see it or comprehend it, you'd become a little overwhelmed, and, well, it's another story. Core issues.
My mind is freaked out.
Good, good. I'm going to give you first a hug, and then give you
Thank you.
an Adamus Award, because you and I have been working on that for a long time. You've been a tough one. You've tested me in every way. When we talk about getting out of the mind, what do you want to call this? Letting go of mind, going
It's a hard one.
beyond mind. Okay.
Beyond the mind.
You've been beyond mind. This would be a good one for you to teach, to train others, because you've been really stubborn, been really holding on to that. And then, now, would you mind sharing with the others what happens when you really let go?
Peace.
Good.
Balance.
Yeah.
Happiness.
Good. Excellent. It's not as bad as what it would seem.
No, but it can be scary.
It's very frightening. Very frightening if you lose your mind, if you go beyond the mind while you're asleep. That's a very difficult thing, and you have to, all of you have to accept that you are still asleep. You are. Your mind is trying to wake up, and it can't, because the mind is what is putting you to sleep in the first place. It becomes an impossible task. And it's about letting go, and it's about just as the poem said, it's about understanding that you're dreaming in your sleep. You're dreaming. This is like a science fiction movie. You're dreaming of what it could be. You're dreaming of the times that were, or in the times that are. This isn't real. It only appears real. Get into that in a moment. Another one. Core issue. What's really being brought up right now?
For me, after being in a 16-year-long controlling relationship,
Yes.
2 weeks ago...
Why were you controlling?
I allowed it.
Yeah. No, why were you controlling?
No, I was being controlled.
Really?
Well,
Okay.
Okay. I allowed it. I said yes.
Yes.
And realizing that I no longer wanted to live in that relationship,
Yes.
2 weeks ago, yesterday, on the 20th, I took my daughter and I out of that relationship to a women's safe shelter.
Yes.
For me, core
Good.
issue is that receiving
Yes.
from others and for being sovereign.
Exactly. How personal can I be?
Absolutely.
Good. Now, you still have some residual energy that's going to continue allowing games to be played. And I wasn't joking when I said who's controlling. And you like to think that you were being controlled, and every piece of evidence that you have with every sense of yours says you were being controlled. And you'll fight me. You'll fight me all, thank you. You'll fight me all day long when you realize that you were controlling. And that's not a judgment, that's an observation. You were not going to have to stay in some safe haven other than your own. The game is still being played out right now. The drama is still there. Part of you is actually creating it, controlling it, manipulating it. The moment you can really let go of that, and the moment that you understand how you cannot blame another for the control in your life, only look within. You're not going to need to be in any safe haven, some outside place. You're going to get into your life. There won't be any fear for you, for your child, for anyone else. And what you sense to be a dangerous situation is going to evaporate.
I believe that.
Going to evaporate. You're not going to have to run anymore. You're not going to have to hide. Because the control, running and hiding is only about you. You running from you. That's all it is. So we can take a deep breath here right now.
Yeah.
We can let that one go.
I want to know me.
Yeah. And as we come through our time together today, and you suddenly allow yourself to start waking up out of the dream, stop the chase, stop the control that's really taking place. You're going to have so much freedom, you're not going to know what to do with it. And you're going to come and give me a big hug.
I've had glimpses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what you have to do right now?
Breathe.
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 And just really make a choice. Do you really need to control things anymore? Do you need to control them anymore?
No.
But before you say no, contemplate for a moment what happens when you let go of all that control.
Contemplate.
Feel. What happens? What happens when you stop controlling?
That will be new for me.
That would be new.
It will be new.
And I heard the word chaos. Yes, it's going to feel chaotic and it's going to feel uncomfortable. Let me ask you for a moment here. What brought about this need to control and therefore attract controlling individuals into your life? Just feel into it for a moment.
Feeling I had right answers or I had better vision.
Good. 2 awards. Absolutely. Absolutely. A type of feeling of righteousness.
Righteousness.
I would call it. And it doesn't matter when and where it came from, but it was an interesting type of righteousness where you knew what was best for you. And in spite of others trying to tell you or force you into doing it, you knew what was best for you. That you began to then control everything around you, and that control brings in other control from the outside. Then suddenly you become the victim of your own control. And suddenly it really forces you in a moment like this to stop and say, well, did I need to be so righteous with myself or with others? Perhaps in this moment we can let that go and just accept. Beautiful, pure, simple acceptance. So, no control, no righteousness, no fear, just acceptance. Let's take a deep breath together, everyone. Oh, yes. And this calls for a Hannibal moment. Let's see. We took a breath, and let's just do Well, I'm going to do one better than that. At this moment, I'd like to do some chaos. Chaos. Discordant. No pattern, no song, absolute mess. Can you lead chaos?
I can lead chaos.
You know
I know
chaos.
how to lead
So we're not going to try to make pretty. We're going to try to make ugly. We're going to make noise from here and let it out. I'm going to ask you to stand up. And Hannibal, chaos time. Chaos. Chaos.
Whoa!
Go. Thank you. Good chaos.
Thank you, sir.
So just get the energy going. See, because if we were trying to control it there, it would have kind of defeated the purpose. It's just letting it out. It's just energy. It's just unpatterned, undisciplined, totally accepting energy. And it works miracles. A little breathing, a little chaos in the voice. Now, that was just energy. It perhaps wasn't pleasant to the ears or even to the physical body, definitely not to the mind. And some of you, I saw you closing down, trying to avoid the chaos. But dear friends, right now, the time we're in, there's a lot of this energy coming in, and it's chaos. And it's not from your past. It's not ghosts from your past or anything like that. It's fresh. It's new. It's improved, and it's coming from out there. And it's really chaotic. So when you're around chaos like that, don't run from it. You breathe it in. You can accept it in. And it's going to go straight to serving your choices. Now, let's take that swirl of energy that just came in. And Hannibal, are you... one last time. I command you to serve me. And he loves that. And he knows exactly where that's coming from.
Now, what are we going to do now?
Now, we're going to take the ones who were with you yesterday.
Oh, yes.
And ask them to stand up.
Yes.
And we're going to make, from chaos, we're going to make beautiful creation. You lead it. You lead it. The group that was here for the workshop, please stand.
Can they come up here?
Absolutely
Come on,
would be
quickly.
better.
There's enough space. Let's make a round. Oh, this is going to be good. Come on, move, children, move. Aren't they beautiful? Aren't they beautiful? Aren't they beautiful? Let's make chaos. Let's do the wolf. Howl! 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 Yep, 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 yep. Howl! Howl! Let's do kitty cats. Let's do puppy dogs. Let's go. I'll do it first. Come on. E. Thank you. Thank all of you. Thank you.
So, core issue. Let's a couple more comments, inputs.
Oh.
Core issues. A big ball of chaos comes in. Some of you it devastates, throws you off bounds, gets you all worried. What's wrong with you? You get very mental. It got you into the brain. But what core issues? Two of them. Is it affecting right now? David.
Judgment.
Judgment.
And for me, it looks like it's judging others, but it's really me judging myself.
Good. How did you judge yourself?
Harshly.
Harshly. What was the worst?
Very harshly.
What was the worst? I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Please. I told you, expect the unexpected. You're getting it.
Maybe I'll just sit down.
Maybe I'll sit down with you then. How bad can it be? That bad.
That bad, yeah.
That bad. You know how many people you're going to be helping right now?
Well, myself.
True. Rest of them really don't matter, do they? But wouldn't it be nice if you were helping them too?
Yes. Yes.
And you knew we were going to do this.
I forgot.
I didn't.
And self-acceptance is
Yeah, we're dancing now.
okay.
We love you, David. Just say it.
Well, actually, I'm not even sure of your question. at this
David,
moment.
you raised your hand.
I know I did.
What issue did it bring up in you? You said judgment. What was that judgment? What was that you heard? It's really not yours, but you heard it and you felt it. You felt that dagger go straight to you. What was it? I'd rather have you say it than me.
I'd rather have you say it than me. No.
I know.
And of course, the self-judgment, again, played outside me. I was judging everything and everyone around me, but I knew that I was judging myself and I wasn't accepting myself. And I really wasn't accepting my mind and brain. I was beating myself up for being stupid. More?
Let's cut to the chase.
Okay.
Let's cut to the chase.
I wasn't loving myself.
Yeah. It's a nice way to say it.
I was doubting myself.
It's a fancy way to say it.
Not accepting myself.
Chicken way to say it.
I didn't like myself.
Getting closer.
I hated myself.
Yeah, that's probably it, but why? Why?
I'm not sure.
Mayor. A lie. A lie. Feeling that you're a liar, you're a phony, you're perhaps manipulative, and it's all false. That was what I perceived when you went to the core. That is tough. That is tough. And it leads to hatred of self. It leads to lack of love, obviously. When you feel it's all been a lie, all been a joke, all been a game, and then you get into all the side stories. I could have done it better. I should have done it this way. I wished I'd have done it that way. But when you get to that point, it's all a big lie. Then what's real? But thank you.
Thank you.
Truly, thank you.
Thank you.
And it was for everyone.
Man, that was hard freaking work. I'm going to give him some of your Jeff's money.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, and we're getting closer, David. You've helped us to get closer to what was the core issue. I want to take one more, and then we'll move into my answer. What I experienced. And, David, watch how this rolls right into what we were just talking about.
Total acceptance of all of our experiences because we're God also, and I am that I am.
Kinda. Yeah, but that's again a nice way to put it. Total acceptance, the understanding of the I am that I am. But what did it really do when this energy went in there? What did it make you stop and have to consider? And I'm going to bring it up here to Andra.
Just accept every experience.
What have you seen under the last couple of weeks? It's been that level. What was the issue?
When we believe the lie, we accept it here, and it sits right here. But if I'm willing to breathe it in and own it, very different. Are you willing to eat it, receive it, own it, and let it feel in every fiber of you? Do you fall in love? Fall in love. Acceptance is still rejecting because it's all up here. It's not about accepting for me. It's about will you eat it? Will you own it? Will you receive it? Will you be it? Will you be? Okay. For me, acceptance stays here and it sits here. But this is why I'm just inviting. For my work, it's about will you take it home and own it.
Thank you. And if I could really put a laser focus on it, and not all of you experienced this, but a lot of you did, and it cuts right to the core. Particularly when, as I expressed for David, when you get to some of the core and you feel that you've been living a lie, which you kind of have been, kind of. Not a deliberate lie, you never set out to do that, but if you're still asleep, you're then living a lie. That's all there is to it. And then what happened in the last couple of weeks, because of the intense energies that were coming in of chaos, they had no balance to them. So it really threw you off, and you took a look at, did you want to be here? Did you want to be here? That is what's been coming up in the last couple of weeks. Do you really want to be here? And it's pushing the buttons. It's pushing everything. Do I want to be here? And some of you are afraid to even talk about it. Some of you are afraid to even admit it to yourself. Some of you push the thoughts out when you get them. When it comes in saying, why should I even wake up tomorrow? you push those thoughts away, and you think you're not supposed to have those thoughts. Absolutely, you can have those thoughts. Part of you is feeling that you've been living a lie because you're not being who you really are. Then you say, why should I be here? And then you do these things. I hope you remember some of our conversations we have in the other realms, but you probably don't. You start making a list of all the reasons why you should stay here. Burn it up. Your kids, come on. Because others need you, because you have a few unfulfilled things, because you're just afraid to cross over. Because, dear friends, what if it's been a lie that you think it's been, and then you cross over, and that's really a big lie? Boy, did you screw up. Now what? Now what? And it happens all the time. Not necessarily to you, but it happens all the time. Now what? Come right back down to do it again. So this energy has had this huge push. It's gone to your issue, and it's not doing the work, but what it's doing is it's going right in to the most sensitive, to the most fragile, to that thin cord that you're hanging on to and saying, do you want to be here? And that is a blessing. That is an amazing blessing. I know it doesn't feel so good, but it's an amazing blessing. It's part of destructuring, and it's part of also really encouraging you to go deep within and say, why do you want to be here? Why? Why? It's getting you out of hypnosis is what it's doing. Because you, humans in general, go along day by day, acting out the same, playing the same, doing the same things over and over. And when you come to this grinding situation of saying, why do you want to be here? Why do you want to be here? It's time to get very, very real. In that situation, as David and others could tell you, you cannot lie to yourself. You cannot. You're down on the mat. It's you and only you. I'm not there. The others are not there. We can't be. And in a way, you don't let us be. But you're down on the mat. I'm saying, why do I want to be here right now? You don't have to show your hands, but how many have felt that? Many times, I'm sure, in this lifetime, but right now it's something different. This is getting all the, it is squeezing the makio out of you, just squeezing it out of you, so you can't bullshit yourself anymore, or anyone else. It is wringing it out of you for you to get real. And that's what's been happening, and by the way, will continue to happen for a while. You might as well face it now. Most of you have or are in the midst of it. This energy that's coming in, this chaos, is also asking a big question as a result of saying, do you want to stay here or not? It's saying, what are you going to do? Big question. And that's a tough one. Because you say, well, I'm not sure I want to stay, and hell, I don't even know what I want to do if I stay. And the problem here is that when you've got this massive chaos coming in, you've got the big question, do you want to stay? And now, what am I going to do if I stay? And then you get back into here. You get back into here. And you start saying, well, maybe I want to do, you get mental. You get mental about it. And you start into this kind of planning, and well, I want to make a lot of money, and I want to be younger, and all. Those don't matter. None of that matters. The real essence of you doesn't care about money. It doesn't. And it shouldn't. We call it your soul, your divine, your truth. It doesn't care about money or health or especially relationships with others. It doesn't care about how you look or your IQ, and it really shouldn't. Should it? What if your soul got caught up into abundance issues? That would be really bad. It's bad enough that the human gets caught up in it, but for your soul to get caught up in it, for your spirit, your spirit doesn't care about all those things. The spirit cares about the love of self. The love of self, the remembering of self. The spirit, what you call your soul, just wants you to wake up. There's this weird relationship between the soul and the human. If the human insists on being asleep, the soul will also play like it's asleep. If the human insists on pretending that it's lost, the soul, out of divine compassion, will pretend it's lost. You see how it works? It's a kind of a reflection. So you have this tremendous amount of energy coming in, asking you if you want to be here, and saying, what do you want to do? And it's not talking about the practical things, not do you want to become a doctor or do you want to be a healer. Those aren't the questions. Those aren't the questions. The questions are, how do you want to experience your life? And by the way, you're not living right now, really. Not in the way we define things. You are dreaming in your sleep. You're dreaming in your sleep. You're not living yet. You're going to be soon, but not yet. So these forces that some of you try to resist, and some of you get so angry with, and some of you try to frosting coat with a lot of macchio stuff, it's not working, because this energy that you've called for at some level is so strong, it's going straight to the core. What do you want? What do you want? Why are you asleep? Edith asks an excellent question. Why are you sleeping? Anyone? No. Let's say it's the rules you came in under. Who created the rules? Who can uncreate them? No, only me. No. Wanted to see if you were awake. You're right. You can uncreate them. But why would it have been a quote-unquote rule? Why would you have ever chosen that? Pardon? Let's use the big voice today so everyone can hear. Thank you, Hannibal. So you can stay on Earth. Earth is...
Here we go. Here we go. Make Edith say it out loud.
Oh,
say it again,
go ahead.
Edith. Go ahead.
I was just being a smart aleck.
Yeah. Why? So why are you asleep? Why did you choose to be asleep? A fun game. I like that. Yes, and it's actually very real. It is kind of fun, up to a point. Up to a point, and then it's. Would you say that really loud?
Then it sucks.
Yes. No, I like you mean it. Like, stand up. You took Hannibal's course yesterday.
Then it sucks.
She went to Hannibal's
that
class.
wasn't very good.
Wait, I wanna hear
anybody
what
else?
I wanna hear
Hannibal,
what a
could you demonstrate
16-year-old
how to say
says.
that? Go ahead.
It
And
sucks.
then it sucks.
Then it sucks!
There you go. Exactly. Yes.
It's the easy way out.
The-
It's easier to stay asleep than wake up.
Yes, but why did you go to sleep in the beginning?
Well, it's something different, so you want to see what it's like differently. And then you want to wake up again, but it's too hard, so you decide to stay asleep.
Very good. It's an Adamus award. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's too hard, and there's too many compelling forces that try to keep you asleep. First of all, yourself, and then everything around you. The mass consciousness, your children, your jobs, your fear, everything beckons you. It seduces you to stay asleep. But ultimately you can't. That's the good point. Ultimately, you can't. Oh, you can go for 100,000 years and pretend you're asleep in a crystal. But ultimately, something comes in. In this case, chaos. In this case, energy that some part of you has called for before and said, come in and totally shake me up, rattle me up. I don't care, because I'm not going to stay asleep anymore. I don't care. Remember saying that? Yes. Remember saying, I don't care what it takes. I can handle it. Yeah. I don't care what it takes. I think we should do that. And Hannibal, you have to leave in a moment. I think we should do that together. The I don't care song. I don't care what it takes. We're gonna make it up in the moment. You see, I don't care what it takes. Every one of you has said that. I don't care what it takes. But then when it happens, well, here we are. Oh, why? Oh, me. What did I do wrong? No, what you did wrong was say, I don't care what it takes. So, I don't care what it takes. I don't care what it takes.
I don't care.
I don't care
what it takes.
What it takes. I don't care what it takes. I don't care. I don't care
what it takes.
Give me anything.
I don't care.
I don't care
what it takes.
I'll take anything. I don't care. I don't care.
I don't care.
I'm big and strong.
What it takes.
I'm better than them.
I don't care.
I can handle it.
What it takes.
Bring it on.
I don't care.
I'm tough.
What it takes.
Come at me now.
I don't care.
I don't care.
What it takes.
I'm the best.
I don't care what it takes.
I don't care. I think Caldra just fainted.
Whoa!
Remember saying that? Yes, not quite so beautifully as we just did in the song, but kind of. For the last 11 years, and then it comes in and, oh. So this goes to the core. And this is not a lesson right now. This is not a lesson. This is not because you're a victim. Not because you did something wrong. Not because you made bad choices. Because you asked for it. And it's here. In spades. So, now, let's move through this. So this energy is saying, do you want to be here? You and only you can answer that, and it can't be a lie. Because if you try lying, it's gonna go straight to the even deeper core. You could say that you're a spirit, and you are behind this movement that's taking place, because it is time to move on. It's time to wake up. So you could say it's going to stay until you answer. You can't have one foot in and one foot out anymore. You're either here or you're gone. Gone isn't so bad. We promise you a nice room, 3 meals a day, and servants. Joking. Actually, there are some Shambra who have crossed over, and they're having a gas because it's very ethereal up there. They're having a wonderful time working with you, and sometimes they just want to shake you, but I won't let them. I'm the only one who can do the shaking around here. So it's not so bad. It's not so bad. But you're tough ones. You're determined ones, and you're going to stay. Right, Miss Amazing?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Even when you get kind of depressed and everything on the outside seems to be going crazy, and you wonder what you're supposed to be doing here?
Yes.
Yes. Anything you want. Anything you want. Anything you want. So it's asking you, do you want to stay? Now, it's going to keep asking. You can't avoid this one. You can't procrastinate it. It's going to keep asking, do you want to be here? And you got to be real. And then what do you do? What do you do? Well, that's the part I'd like to discuss a little bit more today. What do you do? Because, first of all, you can't possibly imagine in your consciousness that you're in right now, in the mind that you've been using, what you're going to be doing. You can't imagine. Hannibal, did you imagine a year ago that you would be where you are?
No, I didn't, not at all.
Did you? No.
No.
No. Because your consciousness and your mind working together couldn't really have imagined it. It was a potential that actually wasn't even visible.
Right. Yeah.
But you made some other decisions that have created these other things. What would you say was one of the single biggest decisions you made?
To take a breath.
Thank you. And to say
yes.
See how simple it is? He didn't have to start saying, I want this, I want that. He didn't have to do his laundry list saying I have to be on America's Got Talent, or I have to be singing in front of a group of 80,000 tomorrow, which you will be.
Right.
He didn't get to that level. He said, yes. Yes, that's all he said. I feel a song coming on. Oh. Hey, but time runs short, so we'll do the yes song soon. So he said yes, and when he said yes, everything started to move. And then, exactly what I was talking about earlier, experience in the moment. It just happens in the moment. Suddenly you're called out of nowhere. Would you appear on The Tonight Show?
Right.
Would you appear in front of a group of 80,000? You didn't plan it.
No.
You accepted it. Back to the acceptance.
When I said yes, I felt like I turned myself in to the whole universe.
Exactly. Exactly. And in the whole universe, you can say yes to what you want to say yes to, and then let the other ones go. Never have to say no again. Just let the other ones go.
Oh,
so let's talk here for a minute about picking up where we talked last month. We're talking about potentials. We're talking about the fact that the energy was flowing like this, rather horizontal. Suddenly it changes and it goes like this. Runs linear. In here are the potentials now. In here. In this space. Potentials used to come from out here and be attracted by the dynamics of the waveform. Waveform attracted energy that brought in potentials that you had once contemplated when you went through the wall of fire. That makes sense? In other words, in the old energy, the old waveform going like this, depending on the balance of the waveform, would attract energies from the outside that would then basically manifest potentials you had contemplated when you left home. When you left home. So you brought the appropriate situation into your life. It's a little different now. It's a lot different now. You change into, you're totally changing the way you deal with energy, consciousness, and manifestation. Manifestation does not come as a result of your thoughts. It doesn't. It really doesn't. You've tried to think your way into a lot of this stuff. You're still trying to do that. You're trying to think or visualize it. Trust me, it will not work for you right now. It has a degree of success for some other people, but it's not going to work. What happens now is that the potentials no longer come from outside, and the energy no longer comes from out there. You're not having to call anything up or call anything in. It's all in the moment. It's all in the moment. The energy is in the moment. The energy is already in here now. In other words, no longer having to wait for the old situation of cause and effect to take place. And that's going to be one of the most challenging things you're going to have to work with, because you're used to cause and effect. Something happens as a result of that. It's not going to work that way anymore. There'll be a transition period, of course. The potentials are not going to come from what you experienced in the wall of fire, going through that zone, coming to this reality. And the energy is not going to be coming from the outside. It happens absolutely in the moment. When we did the song before, in the moment, Linda writing in the moment, Hannibal singing in the moment, you're going to be experiencing that in your lives, not necessarily writing and singing, but the experience of being in the moment. There's going to be a tendency to want to quick go out there somewhere else for the answer, or go back there, back into memory, back into previous experience for the answer. It's going to knock you flat off your feet. You're going to have to stop for a moment, take a deep breath, and realize the energy and the potential is already right there. The potential, it's kind of interesting because the potential is in the moment. It didn't happen back when, so that you could pull it in now. The potential probably would be difficult to Hannibal. We'll see you in Oakland.
Bye, Hannibal.
Yes.
Bye, Hannibal.
Let's do it together. Goodbye,
Hannibal.
I'll be in my pride clothes tomorrow. Going to be at the stadium with him tomorrow. So the potentials are right there, right now. But if you try to go in mentally and try to figure them out in advance, you won't be able to. It sounds terribly confusing, but it's really not. It's terribly simple, wonderfully simple, wonderfully simple. Where potentials came from before, they're not coming from there anymore. Coming from a new place. Where energy came from before, for you personally in your lives, is not going to come from there anymore. It's going to come from the moment. It's all happening in the moment. And guess who really doesn't like that? The mind and your aspects. They do not like that one bit. It's uncomfortable for them. They're not used to it. They definitely feel a loss of their control, because that's where they've been working. They've been working from the past, and they make a lot of promises about the future. But aspects, dysfunctional or disconnected aspects, do not like the now moment at all. No. They hang out in the past and they play with the future. So they don't like it one bit. So what's going to happen? Aspect riot. Aspect riot. Yeah, absolutely. They're not liking it one bit. And they're going to tell you what a worthless piece of human, who said the bad word? We don't swear here. Worthless piece of human that you are. So they're going to organize. They're going to organize. Yeah, they're going to organize with each other. They're even going to go so far as to agreeing to work with each other, which they normally don't do. What are you worried about? You've integrated all of your aspects. Norma, Andra, I think your phone's going to be busy. But anyway, no, they're not going to like it because this is so unprecedented for them. They're going to be mad at you, John, for changing. For changing. They're going to say that you're wrong. They're going to say it to all of you, but I'm picking on Brother John. So they're going to say that you've screwed up before. How many programs have you had, John? Take a guess. A lot. How many would a lot look like? 4? 4 million, probably.
Probably.
And for everyone. They're going to say, is this just another program? Are you a junkie for all this method stuff, for all these programs, for all these new things? Oh, they are going to go in. And all that being said, it makes for a perfect time to invite them back home. Really does. Really does. Not a time to argue with them, not a time to play games with them, not a time to let them run amok. Say, I'm inviting you back because we're switching. We're changing. We are becoming unpolar. We're taking a whole new path. It's either time to get on the divine train or we're going to leave you behind. It's time. We're moving on. We're moving on. So what I'm saying here, what am I saying here? I'm saying it's a bunch of chaos. I'm saying chaos is okay. I'm saying that the way things were done before aren't going to be the way things are going to be done anymore. You actually don't have to do a lot. You don't have to go and beat yourself, please. You don't have to drink 12 gallons of water a day. 3 or 4 is good enough. There's not a lot other than keyword from our last gathering. Please, I hope you get it right the first time. Keyword from last gathering. There's one thing I ask you to do, and one thing alone. Accept. I love every one of you. Accept. That's it. That's it. That is it. Anything else is macchio. Macchio. Yeah, what is macchio? You're not supposed to swear in this room. Better you than me. That's it. Accept. How can you really accept? You take a deep breath. And then maybe you sing a little bit, because the singing gets it out into expression. That's it. That is it. That is it. So I'm standing here today, pacing, as Caldera says, today. He wishes I would sit. So I'm sitting here today talking in this most unusual environment, talking to a group of Merlins who have put themselves to sleep, pretending to be asleep, wanting to wake up, but pretending not to know how to wake up. Sleeping, dreaming in your sleep, dreaming of who you could be, dreaming of all that you could be. And you start to become that the moment that you accept that you can wake up. That's when you wake up. The moment that you accept that you can. And you can. Stop thinking about it. Just accept it. Tremendous amount of chaos coming in, and for you it doesn't have to be chaos. The world is going into schizo chaos right now. Woo! If you could only see as we see, if you could see the measurements that we take, the world is spinning madly. I'm going to spin even more madly, and it's not about you. It's not about you. When you read those headlines, and some of you get this terrible anxiety. The world's falling apart. Well, yeah, Really? What does Cauldre say? Master of the obvious. Okay, now let's move to the next step. Yes, the world is unraveling. And you know what? If you watch its patterns, you're going to see you. You from 20 years ago, you from 10 years ago. You know, you can all be instant prophets in your own time. You know how? By taking a look at the world and comparing it to where you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago. That's the course it's going to take. It's going to wobble. It's going to fall apart. It's going to go at battle with itself. It's going to have some glorious days. It's going to lie to itself. It's going to hate itself and want to hide from itself. You can predict finances. You can predict the politics. You can predict all of it because it's what you just went through. That's what's happening in the world. It's going through its own chaos and it's going through its own awakening. Just like you have been going through your own awakening, but I have to say what's your expression? The gig is up now. Either wake up or, well, I didn't say it, but you either wake up or you begin existing in another realm. You either wake up or this physical body of yours and your mind, they're not going to want to stay around. Stay around for what? More misery? More deception? More games? You either wake up or move on. So, with that, dear Chamber, let's breathe in chaos. It's here because you called for it, okay? It's here because it's serving you as all energy serves you. It's been a delight to be here today. It's been odd being in front of so many Merlins who are really pretending to be asleep. With that, remember, as always, all is well in all of creation. Let's sing that together. All is well in all of creation. Therefore, I am Adamus of sovereign domain. Farewell.